Hey yo, how can you, as a Houston Rockets fan, think that James Harden did us wrong? Like, buddy literally set us up twice. So what is good, YouTube? We back. It's been a minute, man. I haven't made a video in such a long time. A lot of things have happened in the past month since I uploaded, and today we're gonna be talking about the Brooklyn Nets future because Kevin Durant has requested a trade, man. And this is a really good video, y'all. So if you guys enjoy it, make sure you go ahead and like it up. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'm sure a lot of NBA fans is laughing and cuckling, and I'm laughing too because I am a Rockets fan and I'm a James Harden fan. So he was right. He was right. But let's talk about the future of the Brooklyn Nets because I am not even 25 years old. And the Nets have done this twice in my lifetime. Twice in the past like 10 years, I believe, where they have traded their entire future for aging stars, and it does not work out. The last time they did it was with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. And obviously, that was a disaster that literally led Boston to have Tatum, Brown, and, you know, end up in the NBA Finals. The second time is with KD, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving. I mean, granted, none of these players are washed, but it still didn't work out. James Harden, Kyrie, and KD only played like 16 games as a whole together. The whole Kyrie Irving drama and him opting into his contract because he was gonna get that money, and now KD's saying he's out. It's kind of funny because before KD said he was going to Brooklyn, they traded for D'Angelo Russell, and they had Kenny Atkinson, and they were actually building something. It was D'Lo, it was Karras, it was Dinwiddie, and that team was actually building a culture. Like, they had all their draft picks, a young team. They were building up a culture. They made the playoffs for the first time in forever. I mean, I get it. You see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, and you go for it. But in hindsight, they were better off doing that. Like, they honestly should have stuck to it, built out a culture, and then when that team is close enough, that's when you go to it. But this literally proves that buying a championship doesn't work, especially if you trade away all your draft picks. And you guys only got Ben Simmons left to really show for it. Ben Simmons and 2 draft picks from the 76ers. That is not going to cut it. And please, y'all, don't try to sell me on Cam Thomas. He's not that good. Like, let's just be honest. He's really not all that good. And neither is Bruce Brown. Let's talk about what they could potentially get back. They are in a very weird position where they have 2 future Hall of Famers in Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Starting off with Kyrie, I don't think any team really wants him. Like, I can go down the list. The Lakers will probably want Kyrie, but at what cost? You got to get Russell Westbrook back and maybe a first-round pick, because that's the only other team that is logical. You look at some of the other teams in the NBA, unless they're a bottom-tier team, they aren't trading for Kyrie. And even those teams, it doesn't make that much sense either, because he's a guy who does not show up for work. Maybe you guys can convince the Kings, maybe really just the Kings, to be honest, because I look at all of the other teams in the NBA, I don't think that they really want him. I mean, maybe the Washington Wizards, but those are the only teams. Like, the market for Kyrie Irving is extremely low right now, especially since Kyrie's probably going to tell them that you guys have to extend his contract for a guarantee of him staying, which is not really appealing. Next up is Kevin Durant, who, once again, Kevin Durant's contract is massive. How many teams can afford to get him? Kevin Durant is going to want to go to a contending team. The first one is the Denver Nuggets. If Kevin Durant can find a way to get to Denver, I think that's his smartest option. And also, the Nets, this isn't the worst deal either. I mean, they would probably get back Jamal Murray, maybe Michael Porter Jr., and draft picks as well. Denver has some draft picks to where maybe you guys get back a Jamal Murray. That ain't the best, but it is a start. It definitely is a start, especially since you can flip some of those guys and potentially get something better. Or maybe you guys just get Jamal Murray and draft picks. Regardless, Kevin Durant has all the power here. I keep saying it. People tell me every time a star player wants out, the team has the power. They said it with James Harden. They said it with Anthony Davis. They say it with almost every player. They said it with Kawhi Leonard. At the end of the day, these guys end up in the exact position where they want. So KD, you should be aiming for Denver. The second team is the Boston Celtics. this might even be a slightly better return depending on how you look at it for the Brooklyn Nets. They could get back one of their actual draft picks in Jaylen Brown. They could also get back some depth, maybe with Peyton Pritchard, Romeo Langford, and some draft picks as well. That won't be a bad return. And KD lost to the Warriors. He lost to Boston. He could just do the same thing again and go ahead and play with Marcus Smart and Jason Tatum. The third team on my list, which would be hilarious if this actually happened, is the Philadelphia 76ers. KD has talked so much about how much he admires Joel Embiid. Hey, yo, pull up and take Tobias Harris, or yeah, pull up and take Tobias Harris, maybe Tyrese Maxey. We can trade y'all a few more draft picks. And the last team that I can think of is the Phoenix Suns, which clearly Phoenix doesn't want to pay DeAndre Ayton. They package in DeAndre Ayton, Cam Johnson, a boatload of draft picks, and they make that trade. I know that a lot of reports came out saying that the Nets wanted Bam or Booker, and they're not getting either of those players in any trade because, once again, they have no leverage here. Like, they actually have none, to where you guys better start to rebuild again and stop trying to trade for another all-star player. It's probably not going to happen. Brooklyn's best bet is to collect as much draft picks as possible and kind of restart what they already had going with D'Angelo, Karras, and Dinwiddie. Like, I'm very intrigued to see how the Nets pivot, because Sean Marks is actually a decent GM. He just got the worst dealt hand of all time. I mean, you already built up a decent team of young players, but then Kevin Durant, one of the most dynamic scorers and players in NBA history, and Kyrie Irving, another one of the most dynamic players to ever play this game. And you get James Harden. Oh my gosh, you have a big three, probably the most talented and best offensive big three ever. And then Kyrie just does what Kyrie does. No offense to him, but some shit that, like, if you are running a business, it makes it damn near impossible. So then James Harden also messes up his hamstring. KD's getting hurt. You have the worst dealt hand ever. And then James Harden gets traded. Kyrie, you really don't want to pay him. And now Kevin's out. I can't really fault Sean Marks because nobody could have seen this coming. Nobody could have seen this coming, y'all. But anyways, y'all, that is the video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What does the future hold for the Brooklyn Nets, man? I ain't gonna lie, man. It's looking scary, yo. James Harden was right, bro. It's scary hours. Scary hours, but not in the way that he was talking about, bro. It's getting dark in Brooklyn, and once again, I really feel bad for all the 10 Brooklyn Nets fans, true Brooklyn Nets fans out there, man. But let me know what y'all think. I'll catch y'all boys in the next one. We're probably gonna be talking about the Houston Rockets because, hey, we did pretty good in that here draft. But other than that, y'all, thanks for watching this video. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace, y'all.